Hi, my name is Neale from the Housekeeping Society, and this video is going to explain some of the stuff behind the track 45 RPM at 33 1/3 that we did along with poet Ralph Dartford on a commission for Pete McKee's Thud, Crackle Pop exhibition. Ralph created a poem that was about vinyl and his history with records and buying records that he wanted us to create a kind of soundscape, a response to, if you like. On the first reading of the poem, myself and the other half of the Housekeeping Society, because it's myself and Ivan Mack, talked about the fact that the poem appeared to be in 3 sections. One of them was about Ralph when he was younger, he got his first record player. The middle section was kind of about Ralph as he grew older. And then the final section was about Ralph now rebuying a record player or having one bought for him. And so that gave us a simple structure to work with. What we then set about doing was creating a theme that could be both at the start and at the end to kind of represent the sort of now, and then, if you like, a sort of fantasia section, if you will, where Ralph is growing older. That structure seemed to work quite well. So for the first and the last section, we decided to take our lead from a track that Ralph mentions in the poem, which is Anyone Who Had a Heart by Cilla Black, which is, and I don't know whether this happened before Ralph wrote the poem or not, but we discussed about it. That's the first record I ever listened to. I found it in my parents' attic, and here it is. Here's the very record. It's the first one I ever listened to, and I stole it from them. Anyone Who Had a Heart by Cilla Black, written by Burt Bacharach and Hal David, an amazing piece of music. So we took that as our kind of starting point. Anyone who hasn't heard Anyone Who Had a Heart really needs to have a bit of a long, hard look at themselves, but here's a little snippet of it.
Good look at me, and now I dream of you, knowing I love.
It's an amazing record. If you haven't heard it, then turn this off and go and listen to it. But the things I took from that were the staccato strings, the ba 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 ba, and also the kind of minor. It's quite sad. It's quite minor, and also there's a moment in it where there's an interesting thing happens with the time signature where it kind of switches to 7/4 rather than 4/4, and so I created this. This thing in B flat minor, that's in A flat minor, but we took it. I took it up one. That kind of goes. So it's in 5/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it's got that kind of sadness, that staccato ba 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 ba. And I came up with this very, very Bacharach kind of melody, which I played on the piano. This, which I doubled on the glockenspiel, and it sounded like this. So that's how we took Anyone Who Had a Heart. And once we got that basis, we started building other things over the top of it. Another track that Ralph mentions in the poem is Jackie Wilson Said by Van Morrison, which goes like this. I need to play the start. Which again, I'm sure that you have all heard. Now, I took that melody and put it in so that it fit in into the time signature that we were doing it, and kind of hid it in underneath everything else that was going on. And you can hear it. This kind of. We'll put it in 5, so it goes. So it's got that extra melody in from Jackie Wilson Said. No one else will notice, but hey, I had a lovely time. Also in the first and the third section, we use Behind a Painted Smile by the Isley Brothers that Ralph mentions in the poem. It opens with a melody, that song, that goes like this. It's very dramatic. I took that melody, that and I put it on the strings line, and again put it into this 5/4 segment. I should just mention that our friend Lizzie Hussey plays these violins. This is a violin and a viola, I think. If I know, it's just 2 violins that are double tracked, and you can hear how we've transposed the melody up to fit into our key and put it into 5/4, but you can still recognise the melody. Yeah. And so if you take that, if you put the rest of the track in and you hear it with everything else, you can hear this. Yeah? Like that. So in the middle section of the piece, because the first section and the third section kind of felt like they were in real time, so we used real instruments, real piano, a real bass, real strings with Lizzie, real kit with Ivan, and real glockenspiel and all kinds of things. This middle section, to give this sense that time was moving forward, we thought it'd be interesting to try and create something a bit more synthetic. One of the things we do a lot in the Housekeeping Society is use found sounds. And Ivan recorded lots of record player noises, like thuds and crackles and pops, and created some rhythms that were the basis for this middle section, which you can probably hear. That's at the middle of the section. So it creates a groove out of it. It kind of builds. And then there's Ralph's voice moving around the speakers in a stereo image to try and, again, give this impression we're travelling through time. And then we have this new melody in this section as well. And this melody is based on the one in the first and the third. In the first and the third section, that melody goes da da da, but in here it just goes da 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 da, and it doesn't quite resolve back to show this kind of, I guess, this kind of sort of mysterious quality, I suppose, for want of a better word. Another thing we do quite a bit in the Housekeeping Society is we love backwards instruments. It's a big fave of ours, and you heard some then. But to give you an impression of what we actually did, I'm going to play this for you. One of the things that Ralph talked about, and it's mentioned in the poem, he mentions Help by the Beatles, but we also talked about Eleanor Rigby in the kind of early stages. And so what I did, I recorded some piano, you can hear here, and you can just gently hear the melody of the verse to Can't Buy Me Love. If it will make you feel alright. Yeah? So recorded that, and I recorded it twice but playing it at different times. And then, using a little bit of magic, reversed it and put it into the track. So it's kind of right in there underneath everything else that's going on. And it sounds, when it's reversed, it has this really lovely quality. That plays underneath everything else. So when we unsolo it, you can hear that reverse stuff, yeah? Also, to create that synthetic feel, we've got the Korg MS-10 in there, and the Microkorg, as well as the Glockenspiel. So yeah, that section's interesting because we put a key change in that section that fits back in with the Cilla Black tune. So if we listen here, so this is the stuff we've just heard. So this is all in A minor, with the chords and all that kind of stuff. And then we have a key change up to C minor. We've gone up a minor third, just like they do in the Burt Bacharach song. It's a real Bacharach trick. We bring the natural kit back in as well. And the MS-10 still work in the background. And then as that section comes to an end, we then go back to section 3. And that's about it. So if you want to hear the whole track without me blathering on over the top, then you can hear it at our website. So just go to thehousekeepingsociety.com or go to Pete's exhibition, which is going to be in London for a short time. Go to Pete's website, petemckee.com. Yeah, we hope you like it. Thank you very much.